Yo, what's happening, man? Dude, I need your help. You know diets don't work for me. They're too restrictive. I can't sustain them. And the re-binge is realer than real. If you were gonna give me one thing and one thing only that I can do, implement, whatever, to get my health back on track, what would it be? Hold the phone. Let me ask you this. When do you start eating every day? Interesting question. I have my bagel at around 10 a.m. Just a bagel, no coffee. I mean, duh, yeah, coffee. Coffee around like 8 a.m., right after my juice. Did you say juice? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to get that juice cleanse in the morning, right? Okay, so you technically turn on your digestive system around 8 a.m. every single day. And when do you finish eating? Oh, I mean, that's an easy one. Finish eating, 8 p.m., then I put my feet up and it's time to relax. Relax? Yeah, I mean, a cocktail or two, maybe a glass of wine. Don't worry, I typically pass out before I finish the second one anyway. Why does this even all matter anyway? Well, I think we just found that one thing. Yo, yo, yo! What is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftandbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic manner. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we are talking about the power of meal timing and consistency as it pertains to both short-term health and longevity as a whole. You know we always have the big picture in mind here. I mean, come on, goes without saying. So to stay in alignment with the natural rhythms of this odd, weird, and highly sarcastic programming, we'll start with a brief review of what our natural rhythms are, how they tie back to evolution, the biological circuitry involved, and some real-life tips to optimize or hack our day-to-day lifestyle to start reaping some of the benefits. I know, pretty packed agenda, so we better get cooking. I mean, if it's like your feeding window, of course. Your natural rhythms. If you haven't already noticed, we tend to follow a little bit of a daily cycle. Simply put, we wake up, we do things, and then we go to bed. And repeat until, well, you get it. And don't worry if you never really thought about this cycle, because I know I certainly didn't until I heard it in the context of science and evolutionary biology, and then it started to make sense. So hopefully by the end of this, it makes sense to you too. Or, of course, you'll be even more confused. 50-50 chance. This natural innate cycle is called our circadian rhythm. And although unique, it's not unique to us. All living organisms have a rhythm that they follow. Mammals, reptiles, plants, fish, and even insects. And for most forms of life, it is pretty aligned with that big ball of fire up in the sky. These light or darkness cues are harnessed by our eyes and then interpreted by our brains, commencing a downstream fury of biological signaling to inform the rest of the body what to do. We're talking things such as gene regulation, hormone secretion, autonomic function, and much, much more. Pretty eye-opening, pun intended. And when you think of it in terms of evolutionary biology, I think it's safe to say and probable that we took care of most of the important, relevant activities, the ones that were kind of important for survival, when we could see, aka during the day. And when dusk would hit, we would hopefully be winding down with the tribe by the fire after a successful day of hunting, foraging, or if you were a rebelling teen, watching the clouds dance in the sky, which I would equate to the modern day Netflix and chill. But this fire social hour probably didn't last all night. It most likely went until an hour or so after nightfall, where our great ancestors would then retire to slumber with somewhere between a 8 to 10 hour sleep opportunity. And just as dawn began to dawn, these alarm clock lacking Neanderthals that That sounds kind of mean. Woke automatically, and we're ready to get at it once again. So what's actually happening here? How are they able to do all this and function properly without 17 alarms on their phone? Let's take a look under the covers. How we're biologically wired. Modern day research is beginning to shed light on the fact that all living organisms have up to a few dozen circadian clock genes that regulate how the body operates over a 24-hour period. And these clock genes themselves are regulated by a number of lifestyle and environmental factors, such as light, darkness, movement, sleep, and food. And as you could have guessed, we humans are at our very best when we live in sweet harmony with these natural evolutionary rhythms. The troubling thing here is all of those aforementioned factors, and more than likely a combination of these factors, can make or break your natural rhythms, and thus make your life a lot more difficult and unenjoyable than it has to be, which isn't cool. It was first thought that there was one master regulator in the human body, a master clock that instructed all the other organs and set the tone for daily biological function. This was found to be somewhat true, like anything else in science. There is a small group of cells in the hypothalamus called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which has a specific function to receive the signal of light or darkness from a specialized type of cell in the retina called melanopsin. This master clock then signals the rest of the body's organs and glands to either ramp up daytime or nighttime activities. For example, a well-aligned human naturally upregulates stress hormones an hour or so before waking up to begin prepping the body for daytime. And when light becomes absent at dusk, this region indirectly signals the pituitary gland, which then secretes our sleep hormone melatonin to make us go night-night. But just like everything else in this world and in science, it's a little more complicated. It's been discovered that although the master clock's job is to do its best to keep all the other clocks in tune, each organ, especially our digestive organs, tick to their own tock. Did someone say tick-tock? No? Oh, sorry. Been on TikTok a lot. It's fun, you should check it out. The research points out that food has the power to turn on the clocks responsible for digestive function. The liver, the intestines, the stomach, the pancreas, to name a few. And this happens with the consumption of any energy-containing or caloric-containing foods or drinks. In layman's terms, food stimulates digestive activity and activates these systems. Ad hoc, whenever it's consumed. I know what you're gonna say. Kev, isn't that supposed to happen? Yes, but modern day 24/7 eating habits, along with the consumption of less than optimal, highly processed foods, are beginning to take their toll on these systems in a debilitating manner. And if you wanna know, we'll keep digging. The problem. There are a lot of problems that are throwing off our natural rhythms. From late night light exposure, poor diet, meal timing, lack of movement, chronic sleep deprivation, and exogenous substances such as caffeine and pharmaceuticals. All these, along with societal norms, have the average person eating at pretty much random times all throughout the day, and random times all throughout the week, and month, and year. You get the picture. Anything, like I said before, liquid or solid, that contains energy, caloric value, will turn on our digestive network despite the time of day. And this right here has many experts in the field suggesting that food, in fact, does entrain our natural circadian rhythms. With this non-stop, inconsistent feeding schedule, typically spanning 14 to 15 hours, the body becomes disaligned and dysfunctional, unable to metabolize and store energy properly, overworking systems like the liver's detoxification functions and the pancreas's insulin production functions. Even worse, it typically impairs sleep quality due to the continuous digestive demand, thus setting the body up for an internal perfect storm for disease onset and acceleration. Not cool, I know. The good news is we cover a lot of these topics in a lot of other videos. I will link them below and also link some up in the cards. But long story short is, when we're all over the place with our eating, timing and nourishment, we're typically all over the place with our health. It could be explained as simply as that. So what can you do to get back on track? How to adjust our meal timing. Consistent food timing is one of the most powerful things that we can do to get our health back in line. And conveniently, it's one of the more doable health interventions to start out with because of its simplicity. Enter time-restricted feeding or time-restricted eating, stage left or stage right or whatever stage. I'm sick of stages. I always do stages. Sick of stages. Enter time-restricted feeding. TRF or TRE is a lifestyle intervention that focuses on consuming all meals, all caloric energy within a 12-hour or less feeding window each and every day. Research in both animals and humans has shown that consuming all our energy within defined and consistent windows each and every day without changing anything else can have profound impacts on our health. Studies that fed genetically identical mice the same high-fat, high-sugar, Western-like diet, with one group consuming all meals within a 12-hour window, while the other was able to eat ad libitum or whenever, shows the 12-hour TRE restricted group stays metabolically healthy, while the ad libitum group becomes morbidly obese. All else being the same number of calories, same type of bad, unnutritious foods, but such a metabolic difference. Crazy, right? Similar results were found in less controlled human studies where participants consumed all of their caloric energy between a 10 and 12-hour feeding window each and every day. Again, without any dietary restrictions, just meal timing restrictions. And these participants showed many improvements in metabolic health markers as well as weight loss. No counting calories, diets, or crazy rules. Just eating in a consistent TRF window that works for them and fits into their lifestyle. This type of eating most likely aligns with the ways we've evolved to eat, being better equipped to digest and metabolize energy during the day. This right here is the reason I follow early time-restricted feeding, which you can see more on up here or down below. And might I add, driving things such as better sleep, which is pretty important. The good news here is there is no generic, perfect, standard protocol to follow. The best one will always be the one that you can sustain. So here are some guidelines to help you get started. And if you're looking for something tactical, I would highly advise you check out this video up here. I'll also link it below to give you some tactical steps on how to condense and work from your current baseline to where you want to be. First, speaking of baselines, baseline yourself. Identify your current eating habits. Most importantly, when you start consuming and stop consuming anything with caloric value. Yes, this includes sugar and coffee, creamers, milk, anything besides water, black coffee, and tea. Next, try to identify a feeding window. 12 hours or less, ideally 10 hours or less during the day that fits into your life and schedule and is something that you can follow each and every day. Yes, even on the weekends. Being what I like to call a weekend warrior can seriously delay your progress. But if you have to choose, doing 5 days a week is better than doing no days a week. So take that with what you will. Lastly, aim to finish all your meals at least 3 hours before bedtime. This will give you proper time for digestion, priming your body for a higher quality sleep and an even better next day. Health builds on itself. You start one habit, you add another habit, you get a little multiplier effect. The body rewards health. You just got to get started. Damn, that was a good close. What else do I got here? That's it. Commit to this for a solid 8 weeks, and after feeling and seeing the benefits, you're not going to want to go back to your old low energy ways. As always, let me know what questions, personal experiences, or any random thoughts you have down in the comments below. Oh, looks like my feeding window just opened. Catch you on the other side. Someone turn off this blue light in my eyes, please. You know what? Are we rolling? We're gonna cut this in post. Get this camera out. Come, hey.